Thank you, Keith. Keith and I just met each other yesterday morning. Ken was kind enough to invite us to come up and do this, and I don't see Ken at the moment, but thanks, Ken, and everybody that's put this show on. I do not do this, but about once every 65 years, so I'm a little bit, Yesterday went real good with Keith and I. He said he was nervous, but I was shaking in my boots too. Keith did a super job skinning a coyote yesterday. We started with this equipment in Kansas about 2 years ago to skin white-tailed deer. What we got up here is a hitch-mounted unit to be portable. You can skin and butcher out in the field or back home. I built a base for this unit. This is intended to go in the hitch of your truck, and this base is intended to be anchored to the floor, and we're just a little unsteady up here because it's not anchored, so we've got some sandbags up here. If things are a little wobbly, it's because we're not really in a firm situation. We've used this equipment and our clips here to skin 16 different animals. When Keith gets this Bobcat opened up, we'll show you how we hook on these. And then let the winch do the rest of the work for you. We do a fair amount of knife work on a Bobcat. I mean, that's a $50, $75 animal there, so we don't get in a big rush doing Bobcats. You can really get after with a program doing a white-tailed deer or a hog. Got a booth back in the corner over there, not too far from Keith. We've got videos running. This exact equipment, we were in Oklahoma a month or so ago and skinned and butchered hogs on this. And the other end of the spectrum, we've skinned catfish, which sounds a little silly, but there's fellas that catch these 50, 75-pound catfish out of the river, and it's nice to hang them and skin them and butcher them. So that's kind of the both ends of the deal there. Our hitch-mounted unit, we limit it to 300 pounds. We're not going to be hanging an elk or a big sow on this rig, but like I said, we started out doing this for white-tailed deer and progressed through the harvest, the fur-bearing animals, and then into the hog business.
While Terry was talking, I went ahead and started on this cat. Because we were a little bit pushed for time this morning. I'll kind of let you know, show you here kind of what I'm doing. You can hang your animals by both feet if you want to. I like to hang mine down, especially on coons. I like to, when I make my cut on a coon, you go from heel right straight up to the other heel, which is a little bit different. Some people are taught on a coon. A lot of people will do like I've done on this cat, but if you put coons up, just a little tip for you, if you're going to put coons up for your fur, go from heel straight up to heel. In other words, cut in. You're going to be cutting in here further. When you put that coon up on a board, you can lengthen that coon by at least an inch. And if you can get that coon to go from one grade to the other, you're talking several dollars difference in what that coon's going to bring you. Most of your animals are decided on, what class they go in by length, the density of the fur. All of that adds up, so you want to get your hide as long as possible. Now on Bobcats, this right here is your money. That white belly and those spots, this is kind of a East Texas cat. You won't find a lot of real defined spots on his back. What you want to do is skin this cat in the best manner that you can to get all the spots and all the white. I'll show you a little bit after we get this one skinned, the one that's been put up. This cat's caught a little late, it's kind of starting to shed a little bit.
We found that Bobcat's one of the most fragile fur-bearing animals to skin. Like Keith said, you want to be careful with them. You don't want to get real aggressive. You're looking to make a buck on every inch of that animal. So we don't get real aggressive pulling them.
What I've done there, you can kind of see the line where the white and brown comes together. That's the line you want to go. Leave as much white out there as you possibly can. And then start peeling it down. This is what we consider case skinning. All fur bears are skinned this way except for beaver. Beaver are skinned open from right up the belly, from the nose to the base of the tail. All your other animals are done like this. This is case skinning. I know when Ken first talked to me about this, he said I'd like if you do a skinning demo show people how to put up stuff for taxidermy. And I don't recommend anybody skin anything for taxidermy work. Taxidermy is pretty tedious little old work. They leave a lot more of the lips and eyelids and stuff that somebody that's really hadn't done a lot of skinning, doesn't know about, probably would take off. So, I recommend if you're going to have something mounted, talk to your taxidermy first. I think a lot of times you'll find that he'll want to do the skinning himself. If he does want you to skin it, he can kind of give you an idea of what you want to do. Depending on how it's mounted, sometimes they skin their animals right down the center here. If they're going to do a mount where that's back or laying down. So for taxidermy, you really need to talk to your taxidermist. But we're going to skin this cat like we're going to put him up, stretch him, and sell him for his fur. Cat's a pretty thin skin. I'm pretty nervous. I done cut a little nick in him. Split the tail. We're going to split the tail. Work it down on either side. Once you get under that, you can pretty much pull that down. You got a tail stripper that helps you do this. Pull it down to where you started. If I'm lucky, you just grab and pull. Now that we've got him kind of pulled down, I'm going to go ahead and hook his other foot up. Going to get Terry to help us here. We're going to hook him level today.
Kind of GWAPI on our coyote yesterday, but everything worked out fine.
Get that started right here, and we should be ready to go.
Keith's got gloves on. That's highly recommended. I didn't bring any. I'm setting a bad example here. I normally have gloves on, but
yeah,
oh well.
I meant to mention that right off the beginning. We always wear gloves when you're messing with these wild animals. You don't know what kind of diseases they're going to carry. Okay, Terry, let's let him down and hook him up.
Like Keith said, a bobcat's pretty thin skin. We normally just get right after it with our button and our clip. Yesterday we hooked up a coyote in a normal fashion, but we've learned with these bobcats, you got some money sitting here, we take a little extra time, a little extra effort, and I'm going to fold that skin over because it's doggone thin. Do this on a catfish too. I'm kind of setting the qualifier here that, like I said earlier, bobcat we found that it's the most fragile of the fur bearers to skin. So we're going to take it a little easy. We're not going to get after it, go 90 miles an hour like we got an electric winch on things. You're looking all right, Pete?
Good, very good.
That's not my animal, and I don't want to hurt it.
We're doing fine.
We're doing all right?
Yeah. Cats pull off pretty easy. If you just hang him up out in the barn, doesn't take a lot of tension to pull him off. You're doing good.
We got some good tension going on there. Another qualification here. Down low, and I don't like that at all. When you're hitch mounted, you're up another 18 inches, and I've got another spot to put this cable mount up here. We can gain another foot, so This is the first time I've done this on stage. Hell no, I got a barn and a bench and a truck, and I'm just out of my element up here.
Yeah, we're just kind of improvising this morning.
You liking everything?
Everything's looking good over here.
I've been out talking to folks. We started marketing this stuff. This is our second year, and I've heard a bazillion stories about the golf ball and the rock and what my grandpa used to do and the favorite tree and this, that, and the other. And that's exactly why I did this. I've seen these things come loose, and your buddy's got a knife, and before you know it, somebody gets hurt. Every now and then it gets dark out, gets drunk out, and that golf ball lets go. I'm a little bit on the safety conscious side. I've been manufacturing stuff for 40 years, and I've still got all my digits, and I kind of like to keep it that way. So,
Just a second. We're fixing to get pretty close.
He said, "Whoa, stop!"
Whoa, we're just fixing to get pretty close to dawn.
The other thing is a little scary when you go pulling on that. Some of these videos up here earlier about shooting coyotes with a shotgun. I skinned one for a fella that they're hitting them in the face all right, but you get a stray pellet back in here, and that hole's going to open up. A lot of these varmints are crossing barbed wire fences. They're going to have a nick here and there. You just don't know what you're going to get a hold of.
A little tip that, working around under these shoulders, get you a Phillips head screwdriver. Anything that's kind of blunted on the end, once you get it down, find that armpit. You can run that through there. Once you get it through, then you can kind of pull down on it, get out of that tight situation that you're in up under there where you're likely to cut it. We got a lot of extra meat right in there that we didn't really need.
You younger fellas and girls or novices that haven't done this too much, what Keith's doing right now is the hardest thing to get a hold of. It's a lot like taking your t-shirt off. You're dealing with armpits, and it just takes practice. It just takes practice. Don't be afraid to dive in on a raccoon or something that's been damaged. This is the area where you can really make or break you.
I just nicked a little hole right there. It never ceases to amaze me. This cat right here was caught out in West Texas. If you ever skin anything that's caught out in West Texas, you see all them thorns right there?
Oh my.
They have to live with that. I mean, those thorns, they can be thick, all up in those arms, legs. We're going to pull these legs down as far as we can. On the coyote, we probably cut these legs off up here about this elbow, but on the cat, again, like I said, we want to get all of that white fur in those spots as we can. So we're going to come down as far as we can. We're down about the joint there on the paw. I'm going to go ahead and wring this off.
Headroom sometimes gets to be an issue if you're doing this in a shed. That's 12 feet off the floor, and we used every bit of that yesterday on this coyote. We didn't have him hooked up quite right. 12 feet will get you most of your whitetail skinned. It'll get you most of your hog skinned. If you got a headroom issue, if you're just confined to 8 or 10 feet, you can go as far as you want and then unhook and rehook this up a couple feet and go again. So I talked to fellows that got all sorts of headroom issues, and that's one advantage of our buttons and our clips. You can drop it down and rehook it. If you come across a damaged leg, like I said, these shotgun pellets or barbed wire fence or trap or what have you, if you rip one just because the animal's damaged, you can come back up here and rehook them.
We've got down over the arms and down to the head. We've got to find the ears. Yeah, a little tension, okay? Find those ears. Most of the time you can kind of feel around in there where that cartilage begins. Here again, for the fur trade, you don't have to get all of that. If you cut that ear about halfway in the middle there, it's not a big problem. You'll still get all that ear showing. The cartilage will help hold that ear out. Once we get those ears done, we'll keep easing down and start looking for the eyeballs. The eye sockets can be pretty tricky. You want to go slow around your eye sockets. You have to remember that those eye sockets go in. You need to be able to cut in. If you don't, you can make that eye socket about twice the size it's normally supposed to be real quick. So what we can feel the eye sockets here. What we're going to do now is go ahead and cut through there, trying to stay in as deep as we can. A lot of people, if you get in a hurry right now and go to cutting down like this, like I say, you can make that eye socket that long. What you want to do is take your time, make sure you're cutting up against the skull. Once you get a little hole, it gives you a little finger hold there. Get this eyeball here out.
I hope you all can see all this. I'm standing 2 feet away from what Keith's doing. He's doing a marvelous job. I've watched videos. I've hooked up with some professional trappers and skinners, and you guys are fortunate. Keith, this is the way it's supposed to be done. I hope you can see the detail what he's doing.
Once we get these eye sockets, now we've got them down. But you can see how that goes in next to the skull there. You can real quickly get a wrong cut right there and make that about 2 or 3 times. If you're going to put fur up to sale, make it look good. I tell people, fur handling starts in the field. When you kill that animal, right then and there, you need to take the time to try to clean him up. If you caught a coon around the pond or creek, wash him up, get the blood, get the dirt, get everything off of him. Coyotes or shoot one of them. Try to get as much blood off as quick as you can. I use a choke pole on all my cats, and I do that so that I don't have any blood on the cat. So take a choke pole, put it around their neck. You can choke a cat out real quick, real humanely, and take a little pride in your fur, and try to make it look as good as you can. It'll pay you in the long run when you take it to a fur buyer. He can tell that you took your time. It looks better looking fur, bring you more money. And as a fur buyer, if it's cleaner fur, it's a lot easier for him to go ahead and process. So every time he sees you coming, he knows you're going to be bringing good stuff, and he'll pay you a little extra for it. We're going down each side of the mouth here. There again, we're taking our time, cutting right along the edge, making sure we get all of that lip. You're going to have it mounted, all of that lip there. They need all that to be able to mount it. You don't really need it as far as if you're going to sell it for fur. But I like to carry my chin all the way out on my cats, because when I put it up, I pull that chin up. That gives me more white fur showing. the more white fur you can show on the cat and spots, you know, the better it looks. We're coming on down. We're coming to the nose. We're just going to stay kind of against the skull, cut through that cartilage and that nose. And come right on off. We've successfully got him off the carcass. So ideally, this is what you like to have when you get through. You get a nice skin, especially on cats because you don't have any blood. You get a good clean skin. Once you kind of clean a little of that excess fat up, take him and stretch him over a board. This one here, as I had done at the house, and I decided to bring it just to kind of show you how to do it. Down here, instead of putting them up on wire, if you'll put them up on a board, you can take this leg here on either side, you can pull it together. That gives your cat more appearance of a longer, wider belly. The chin on this one, I didn't do such a great job, but you can see I kind of left it up. The legs, get you a little piece of wire, end of a clothes hanger, open those legs up, hold them up. I think when I dried this one, I just put him up against the wall so that those legs would hang down. But there again, we're after more of a longer, wider appearance there on our spots because that's where your high dollar fur is coming from, is be right through there. They use the rest of the fur in different things, but if you'll notice these real nice fur coats and stuff that they have, they're made from the belly fur of the cats where all these nice spots are at. So this is kind of what you want to shoot for once you get him skinned, get him fleshed, get a little of that excess fat off of him. Take some borax, washing detergent, just dry. You can just take it, pour it on him, just rub him down real good with that borax. That'll brighten that white out, make it look a lot brighter and a lot wider. And, you know, like I say, appearance helps a lot. You want your stuff to look nice, and the nicer stuff will bring you better money. That's pretty much what I have on the skinning. Texas Trappers and Fur Hunters Association have a booth back over here as long as Terry. He has a booth right down below us. If you want to talk trapping, fur hunting or something, you know, come by our booth over there. We've got a couple more members, and myself will be glad to talk to you. If you're not a member of the United States Sportsman Alliance Center, I encourage you to join that association. They're fighting for all of our rights as outdoorsmen. So if you're not a member, join that. And I invite you to join the Texas Trappers and Fur Hunters Association if you're not a member of that. But again, thank you for your time.
Thank
Terry,
you, Keith.
appreciate
Super
the skinning
job.
machine.
Good job.
And appreciate it very much.